keep hope alive. You keep hope alive. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome. Welcome. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. Welcome in, Love 2040. Good morning. All right. Just want to make sure that the audio is okay. Let's see about listening in. Good morning. No, that's not what I wanted. I lost my music. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. Can you guys hear me okay? I'm hoping that I'm not echoing. Good morning. Good morning. Hi, Chelsea. Hey, Ripster. Hey, user 8222. Welcome, welcome. Hey, Sydney. Welcome in. Where are you joining from? Hey, Rosie. Hey, Donna. Are you guys ready to get into some devotional today? Welcome, welcome. All right. Well, I'm going to get started, guys. I vowed that I was going to do this devotional on Tuesday through Friday, whether I was here by myself or not. And so it looks like I'm by myself, and that's okay. So we're going to do this. All right. So our devotional today, this is from Driven by Purpose. This is a devotional that I wrote. It is, I kind of had this thought about us being kind of like a car and that we needed certain things to move forward. And so I wrote this devotional based on that. And so if you see references to a car, that's what that's about. Okay. Hey, Riri's mommy, how are you? So it's easy to look at others and feel like we're falling behind. But God has a unique path for you. Comparison will only distract you from your calling. Okay. And, this is very timely because I was talking about this yesterday when I was teaching some TikTok shop tips. And I was talking about how comparison is the thief of joy. So this is very timely. Hey, Netta, welcome in. All right. So sorry, guys, I got a notice here. They're saying my stuff is unoriginal. It isn't unoriginal because it's my content. I wrote it. Okay, so anyways, hey Pat, hey Helen, welcome in. Yeah, I don't understand. Okay. So anyway, so I wanted to get into the key verse today, which is Galatians 6:4. And it's we're using the NIV, and it says each one should test their own actions, then they can take pride in themselves alone without comparing themselves to someone else. Welcome in, Angela. Welcome in. All right. So I just wanted to touch on a couple of supporting scriptures. And the first supporting scriptures we have for this devotional is Psalm 139, verse 14 through 16. And it says, I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in the secret place, when I was woven together in the depths of the earth. your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be. How wonderful is that, right? God didn't make you to be a copy. He designed you with care and intention. Comparison forgets that you are already fully known and chosen. Wow, that's so special. Do you see how comparing yourself to someone else is just not the right thing to do? So, the next supporting scripture for today's devotional is 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 24 through 26. And it says, "Do you not know that in a race all the runners run, but only one gets the prize? Run in such a way as to get the prize. Everyone who competes in the games goes into strict training. Therefore, I do not run like someone running aimlessly." So, what this is saying is run your race with purpose, okay? And run at your pace. Stay in your lane and run with focus, not distraction. So, don't be distracted by what other people are doing around you. Run your race. Okay? Run your race. Stay focused. Don't be distracted by everything else that's going on. Okay? The next verse comes from Ecclesiastes chapter 3. Okay, whatever. And it's verse 1. And it says, "There is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens." So just because it's their season doesn't mean it's yours. So when you see other people having success and making you feel like, especially if you're comparing yourself to other people, making you feel like, oh gosh, it's happening for them. Why isn't it happening for me? Just because it's their season doesn't mean that it's your season, okay? God's timing is custom tailored. Not one size fits everybody. That's not what this is about, okay? It's about you and what God has for you. So the last verse that I want to share with you is John 21, verse 21 and 22. And it says, "When Peter saw him, he asked, 'Lord, what about him?' Jesus answered, 'If I want him to remain alive until I return, what is that to you? You must follow me.'" Right? So Jesus invites you to focus on your journey, not someone else's assignment. What matters is your obedience, not their outcome. Okay? So let's not get caught up in what other people are doing and where they're at in their journey, because it's their journey. It is specifically for them. Okay? That's not your journey. That's not your season. Hey, Denise, welcome in. I'm just going to go ahead and do this devotional again because I don't know, I don't even think anybody else was in here because nobody was talking to me. So I'm just going to do it from the beginning. Is that cool? And you know what is so funny is I'm not going to get recommended out because, oh, great. I'm glad you're in here, Brooklyn. Um, so I got a notice from TikTok saying my content was unoriginal and they weren't going to recommend it. So I'm like, well, it can't be any more original than the fact that I wrote the devotional. Like, okay. I guess the Bible verse isn't original. Yeah, seriously. Because it comes from the Bible. I don't know. Yes, I don't even know what the deal is. This TikTok algorithm is like working my nerves. All right, so we're gonna start over, guys. So the devotional today, it's easy to look at others and feel like we're falling behind. But God has a unique path for you. Comparison will only distract you from your calling. And what I was talking about was how timely this specific devotional is, because I was just talking yesterday about how comparison is the thief of joy, because I was teaching TikTok Shop and how to get into the pilot program. And so often we look at these other creators and these other affiliates, and we want what they have. And we compare ourselves to them and look how great they're doing. And we've been doing it for the same time, or, they have all these followers and I don't. So we get into this place to where we're comparing. And so I just thought that this was really timely, because this is about not comparing ourselves to others, right? So the key verse for today comes from Galatians chapter 4, verse 4. And it says, each one should test their own actions. Then they can take pride in themselves alone without comparing themselves to someone else. So I know this is that I try to only compare myself to myself. Am I better today than I was yesterday? Have I improved? Right? Am I kinder? Am I more organized? Am I like, what are the goals that I have for myself? And let's only compare ourselves to ourselves, right? The better version of ourselves. Let's be a better version of ourselves today than we were yesterday. Okay? So let's get into these supporting scriptures for this devotional. So Psalms 139, verses 14 through 16 says, I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in that secret place, when I was woven together in the depths of the earth. Your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be. So if that does not speak to the originality of who you are, I don't know what will. God didn't make you to be a copy. He designed you with care and intention. Comparison forgets that you are already fully known and chosen. Think about that. All right? So 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 24 through 26 says, do you not know that in a race all runners run, but only one gets the prize? Run in such a way as to get the prize. Everyone who competes in the games goes into strict training. Therefore, I do not run like someone running aimlessly. So your race has a purpose, and so does your pace. Okay? Stay in your lane and run with focus, not distraction. If you're worried about what somebody else is doing, how can you be focused on what your race is about? Okay? You can't be focused on your race if you're in everybody else's business. Okay? And worried about comparing yourself to others. We're not called to compare ourselves to others. Okay? So we need not to do that. So the next supporting verse that I want to share with you comes from Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1. Absolutely, Brooklyn. Absolutely. Welcome in, George Gray. Yeah, we do. We do compare ourselves every day, and we need to not. We need to not. Now, there's absolutely nothing wrong with looking at somebody else and thinking, I would like to be successful. Okay? Wow, they're successful. I would like to do that. But the thing is that you can't compare where you are to where they are. That's comparison. And think that you should be where they are, you know? Because all of our journeys are different. All of our stuff is different, you know? Hey, Island Coco, welcome in. It is. That is a perfect example of the adversary speaking to us. Absolutely. So Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1 says, there is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. So just because it's someone else's season for success, it doesn't mean that it's yours. Okay? God's timing is custom tailored. Not one size fits all, right? How would you feel if one size fit all when it came to God's relationship with you? He just gave you what he gave everybody. Like, how would that make you feel? Like, I don't want that. You know, I want it to be special to me. If you've ever worn a size 13 Shaylin Lemons, you know exactly what that feels like. I'm not sure what that means. I'm sure you're trying to tell me something. I'm not sure what that means. Hey, Donna Marie, welcome in. But yeah, one size does not fit all, and I'm okay with that. I love that I'm unique and that, you know, my season isn't your season and vice versa. So when the next and final verse that I want to share with you comes from John 21, chapter 21, verses 21 through 22. And it says this: when Peter saw him, he asked, Lord, what about him? Jesus answered, if I want him to remain alive until I return, what is that to you? You must follow me. So Jesus invites you to focus on your journey, not someone else's assignment. What matters is your obedience, not their outcome, right? So how often do you do that, where you're so focused on what somebody else is doing that you're not paying attention to what you're doing? What does their journey have to do with you? It doesn't. I mean, if you want to look to someone as an example of what can be done, okay, that's fine. But don't look at them in a way that's like you're comparing yourself and like, well, what are they getting? What are they doing? You know, and I'm not. Okay. So that's such an important thing to do, is just focus on what we're doing and our goals and God's timing for us. All right. Welcome in, Sensational. Welcome in. So let's go ahead and get into some reflection and discussion, guys. Have you been comparing your journey to someone else? I know I'm guilty of doing that. I'm guilty of doing that. I think we all probably have done that at some point or another. I'm not presently doing that. I have to say, I'm not presently doing that. But I have. Absolutely. Your whole life. Absolutely. You know, hey, Kim, welcome in. So, what is something uniquely valuable about your current season? What's happening in your current season that you can look at and see, I see the value in that. That's my unique journey. You know, what does that look like for you? I know for me, in my current space, is that I can look at the value of recognizing that God has something very special for me, in that I haven't really settled into any kind of niche, but I'm just letting God order my steps. And so that's what's happening in this current season. And I'm so happy for that. And if I was trying to be something else like somebody else, I wouldn't be able to be in this season. Yes, I love that. So she says that's her, that she's listening and she's obeying. That is wonderful. I am in the season of obedience right now, and I love it. I wouldn't have it any other way. So, yeah, no, I mean, you're listening and you're obeying, friend. You know, there's no trying to. I mean, you're doing it, you know? So, how can you shift your focus back to God's unique plan for you if you are having those moments, you know? I know for me, just making sure that I'm staying in His Word and actively even just doing this, like sharing it. Really? What did he say? Oh, I love that. Okay, so he said, God gives you two types of storms, one that will perfect you and one that will protect you. I love that. That is great. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. Where do you remember the verses that he used to explain that example? I'm sure I could look something up, but I like that. I like the sound of that. So, which the account is Soul Finder. Okay, I'll check that out. Hey Karen, welcome in. Welcome in. So, what steps do you think you can take to stay in your lane with confidence and peace? Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. Shoot that over to me. I'd love to read that. Ooh, I got some good action steps today, guys. I got some good action steps. All right. I don't know about this one. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get into the action steps. You can do all of them or you can just choose one. But so the first, oh, thank you, friend. So the first one is unfollow or mute any account that consistently leads you to comparison. Ooh. Oh, snap. Oh, I don't know which ones are that for me, but I'm going to have to take a look. Yeah, right? Oh, that's a hard one. I know. Ooh. All right. How about this one? Write a gratitude list of what God is doing in your life right now. I like that one. That's a good action step. All right. So reflect on time when you staying in your lane brought an unexpected blessing. Ooh. It is. That is good for so many reasons, isn't it? All right. And then this one is memorize Galatians 6:4 and declare it when tempted to compare. So each one should test their own actions, then they can take pride in themselves alone. Thank you, Fly Spice Diva. Welcome in. Thank you for the daily heart me. Good morning. Good morning. So if we memorize that, each one should test their own actions, then they can take pride in themselves alone without comparing themselves to someone else. That's a good one, guys. That's a good one. And then the next action step is to pray specifically for peace and contentment in your current assignment. Right? What are we supposed to be doing? And let's pray for peace and contentment in what we're actively assigned to do. That is so good. So good. Thank you for that hamster frowning. Hey, Rocco's mom, welcome in. Welcome in. So you guys can see what our devotional was and what the verse was. It's on the screen. So if you missed what we were talking about, we were really talking about making sure that we don't fall into that trap of comparison, of looking at someone in their season, right? Their season of success, because trust me, when they're in their season of grief, we're not trying to be there, are we? Let's be realistic. We're looking at people in their season of success and joy and happiness and all of those things that are happening for them. And we are comparing ourselves to them. And we are saying, hey, I've been doing TikTok for 3 months just like them. And look at them. They're making $10,000 a month as a TikTok shop affiliate. Or they're doing this or they're doing that. We're only comparing ourselves to all of the good that we think that we see in them, right? All of the success that we see. If they're in their season of mourning or grief, we're not trying to be there, are we? Think about that, right? God's divine time is not the same timeline as we have. Absolutely. I know that's what you meant, is God. Um, but absolutely. And so we can't fall for that. Like you said, that is just the adversary. That is just the adversary getting in our head saying, "Oh, look what they have. Don't you want that? Don't you want exactly what they have? Oh, they've only been doing it for this long. You've been doing it longer than them. Shouldn't you already have that by now?" Those are the things, right? That's what we hear in our head. And we just have to shut that down and remember that each one should test their own actions. Then they can take pride in themselves alone without comparing themselves to someone else. So she compares herself all the time to people and looks at people that say and says, "Oh, they've only been doing it for this long. I should have that." Yeah. Well, this is the perfect lesson for her then, but a lesson is only as good as your commitment to um embrace it and yeah, embrace it and to take action, right? Because you can hear something, but if you don't ever take action on what you've learned, then it never serves you. Yeah. And that's an awful way to live, keeping up with someone else. And you know what it does? It limits you. It seems like, you're like, "Oh, we're going to keep up with them." But when you get in your head that that's your limitation or that's your goal, what happens when God has something so much bigger in store for you, but all you're settling for is comparing yourself to somebody who's doing a little bit better than you? So it's like you're giving yourself a ceiling when you do that, because God is capable of so much greater than we could possibly imagine for ourselves. And when you get into this place where you compare yourself to somebody else, yes, absolutely. We will never reach our full potential if we are just trying to compare and compete with someone else. Just let God take you to where He wants you. What is your story? What is meant for you? If I just constantly comparing myself to somebody else and I'm just like, I want what they have, like God likely has something way greater for me than that. Hey, Suey, welcome in, friend. So, it is never more true that comparison is the thief of joy. If you're constantly comparing yourself to others, what they have and what you don't have, how can you be joyous? That is no way to live. So make sure that this lesson today, that this is something that you embrace and you enact, right? Enact this lesson into your life so that you are not stunting your full potential, that you are opening yourself up to everything that God has in store for you, specifically for you. All right. So I hope that this was a really good devotional. I hope that it was eye-opening and that you will take this and act on it. Again, there were those few action steps. I think that they were really good. The unfollow or mute any account that consistently leads you to comparison, right? Writing a gratitude list of what God has been doing in your life right now. That's always great. Like that gratitude, that daily gratitude, that's an everyday thing. Just sitting in that and thanking God for all of the things that are happening in your life. Even the things that sometimes don't feel like we should be grateful for. We should be grateful for. Okay? And then reflect on a time when staying in your lane brought unexpected blessings. And then memorizing Galatians 6:4, that was the other action step. And declaring it anytime we're tempted to compare ourselves. And then praying specifically for peace and contentment in our current assignment. So those were the action steps, okay? So let's get into this closing prayer. All right. Lord, help me to focus on my own race. I trust that you have a perfect plan for my life with divine timing and purpose. Free me from the trap of comparison and strengthen me to walk confidently in the path you've laid out just for me. In Jesus' holy name, amen. Amen. I'm going to turn this music up, guys. Let's just jam out for a second. Glory and majesty. Majesty. Glory and majesty. Glory and majesty. Thank you so much. I'm glad you made it. Have an amazing day, friend. And majesty. Thank you so much for joining me this morning, you guys. I will be back tomorrow morning with devotional. You're so welcome, Brooklyn. You're so welcome, friend. I look forward to you joining me again. And if you know anybody else that would like to join us for devotional Tuesday through Friday morning at 9 a.m. Central is what time I usually get started. Yeah, the more the merrier. The more the merrier. All right, guys, I'm gonna hop off of here. And you know what? Actually, I think I'm gonna stay on for a little while. I'm just gonna listen to music and we can chat. And if you guys have questions or you want to talk to me about anything like that, we can do that. I think I'm gonna stay on for about another 15 minutes so I can have a little over an hour on this live. All right. Welcome in. Hey, Robert Duke. Jada, Pow. Welcome. All right. So, yeah, I'm just going to hang out here and listen to some music and we can chat. Brooklyn, where are you joining from? Welcome. Just listening to some music right now, guys. We had a good devotional. Welcome. Mm-hmm. Welcome. Welcome in, Marilee. We just finished devotional. Just listening to some music right now. Hey. Maybe let's get into a game here. Hmm. All right, let's see. See if I can get this to play. No, that's right, I can't. No, I gotta do something there. Let's send that backwards. Over your head. Now blessings, blessings, blessings. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Over my head. Over my head. Down over my head. All right, guys.